Okay, let's faster settle this thing and then go back to sleep. Okay, so we look at this question number 2. We start with question number 1. Okay, so here, I really think that this year will come out the application, electroplating, purification, or maybe the extraction of aluminium. I really think they are going to come out. I really think, but I do not accurate and all. Maybe not enough sleep, then not accurate. Okay. So I hope they really come out. So when they come out, I think they will pair with another 10 marks of something. Another 10 marks of something. And I think the application will come out in the essay. So we do not know which topic they will pair with. Maybe they can pair chapter 7 and the chapter 6 together. Nobody knows. Okay. So for this question 1, they never come out a question like this before. They never come a question like this before, which is a potato cell or a fruit cell. So this is why I purposely put it here as a revision for you all. So name the type of cell. This is a voltaic cell. Simple. And let's take the energy conversion that occurs in the cell stated. Voltaic cell is a cell that changes from chemical energy to electrical. This one you doesn't have to write down, okay? If you have printed the notes, then you can write down together. If you doesn't have the notes, I think you focus more on the essay, okay? And then after you printed out, only you try to write one time. You must try to write the essay one more time yourself. Light energy, okay? It is chemical to electrical. Where got light energy? Write the half equation for the reaction that occurs at the positive terminal. So you have to know how to label positive and negative. How? The more electropositive, higher matter is negative, lower positive. You can remember or not? After like sejarah, all this thing, moral. So here, anode is negative, cathode is positive. Generally, this question I ask Hui Qi, okay, ask Hui Qi. Okay. Electron is going to flow from anode to the cathode. Labeling the cell. So they ask me which one is positive. Obviously, iron. So easy this question. If the experiment is repeated by using a series circuit containing 3 potato, wow, suggest the suitable apparatus to replace LED to show electrical conductivity. Basically, all these 3 potato is just like something extra. Also, equation. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. You're right. They want equation. They are not asking me which one is positive. Okay. To write the half equation, we got to know what is inside a potato, right? And they actually told you that potato has phosphoric acid. So what I want to tell you here is, no matter what kind of fruits, or vegetable, is potato a vegetable? I don't know. If they can power a cell, that means they have acid. Okay, they have acid. This is all you have to know. What is the type of acid is not important at all. What type of acid is not important at all? Acid is enough. Why? Because in a voltaic cell, my anode will always be a metal. That means my anode will always be selected to dissolve. So what is the negative ion is not important at all. Like this question, in H3PO4, the ion that will go to my anode is PO4, 3 minus and OH minus. But it is not important at all because I will always choose my magnesium. PO4 or Cl minus hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, not important at all. And then the right hand side, because we all know that acid has H plus, that is enough. We choose H plus. Okay, so anode is the metal, and then cathode will be the H plus. This is why I say acid is enough. Whatever acid, not important at all. So here, equation 2H plus 2E, you get H2. This is a warm-up question for myself. Okay, if the experiment repeated using three potato is not the main thing in the question. They ask you replace LED. So to replace LED, we can use what? Voltmeter. Anything to show electrical conductivity. Now all these people is coming in. Voltmeter, right? Voltmeter, voltmeter, or ammeter also can. Okay, next. So state one example of metal X. They want to produce a brighter LED. They want to produce a brighter LED. Just now was magnesium and Fe. So we want to make a pairing of metal that is further away. So which is magnesium and copper. So I write copper. Simple. Next, explain your answer. Okay, why? Why I use copper? So I can say that copper is less electropositive than iron. That means the metal I give here is lower than the Fe just now. So their distance will be longer. Or you can just say the distance between magnesium. So I also write down this answer. The distance between Mg and Cu is further away than Mg and Fe in ECS. Wow, too early until I don't know how to write. Okay. Next. Suggest a food that can be used to replace the potato. Anything lah. There is acidic, lemon lah, lime lah, orange lah. Don't write things like what watermelon, this and that. Okay, lemon is the best answer lah. Explain your answer. Okay, why lemon? So lemon contains acid. Okay, and then in the acid, it contains free moving ions. So basically, they're asking you what kind of solution, what kind of electrolyte can conduct electricity. When we use lemon, means we use acid as our electrolyte. Okay, we choose lemon because it has acid, and then in the acid we have free moving ions. Of course, you can make the answer longer by saying to carry electrical charges. Okay, if you want. Stop here is okay. So now the next question. I worried that this kind of question will come out extraction of aluminium. So that's why I put this in as a revision. So name the aluminium ore, which is the most important source of aluminium metal. When they say ore, means you have to give me the name of the ore. Yes, very good. Wow, you're very smart anyway. How you know is this bauxite? Okay, yes, bauxite. Correct, very good. Why should aluminium be melted for electrolysis? Why do we use molten aluminium oxide? Sorry, molten electrolyte. Why don't we just use the solid? The reason is because molten aluminium is made up of it consists of free moving ions, or you can say ions are able to move freely in the molten state. So that means there's a lot of ways in writing the answer. And the keyword that you must give me here is the free moving ion, or ion are able to move freely in the molten state. Okay, so anything related to the electrolyte, they are about free moving ion. If there is free moving ion, they can conduct electricity. no free moving ion cannot conduct electricity. Name one aluminium compound which is mixed with the ore to reduce the melting point of electrolyte. What is the use of the compound? Yes, very good. The answer is cryolite. In this extraction of aluminium, we will apply a catalyst. The catalyst is to lower the melting point, reduce the melting point of aluminium oxide. That means they can turn around and ask you this question, hey, what is the function of cryolite? Then your answer will be reduce or lower the melting point of aluminium oxide. So all the important things are I put into this question already. So write the half equation for the anode and cathode. So for this type of cell, you don't actually have to worry because positive and negative here is like battery. You just follow the battery, positive anode, negative cathode. If now you still don't know why anode is positive, uh, watch the older video, Then anode cathode, after anode cathode, we look at our electrolyte. The aluminium ore bauxite. Okay, the screen is lagging. Ore is usually existence oxide, metal oxide, metal oxide. So aluminium ore means aluminium oxide. Remember this, please. If they say iron ore, it is iron oxide. If they say tin ore, it's tin oxide. So aluminium ore is aluminium oxide. And ion go to anode, O2 minus. Ion go to cathode. Please remember this, there is no water because of the word molten. So half equation at the anode will be my O2 minus cathode Al3 plus. So anode O2 minus becomes H2O plus O2 equals to 4 electron, 2 H2O. I can't believe we can still teach a bit when I only sleep for 1 hour. Okay, cathode we have Al3 plus 3E becomes Al. Eh, wait, wow, shit, what? Okay, okay. Hey, sorry, I take back my word. I take back my words. O2 minus will become O2. Stupidly. Yeah, okay. Yes. Right. Okay, 2O2 minus and 4E. Yeah, that's the answer. Sorry. Sorry. This is the answer. Yeah. O2 minus will become O2. Remember to balance the equation correctly. 2O and O2. 4 electron is because of the charge 4. If there's anything wrong, please correct me. What is the substance used as the anode in the electrolytic cell shown in figure 2? So what type of substance is actually asking you what type of electrode are being used in extraction of aluminium. We all know that the electroplating or the others application, they uses a specific type of electrode for their anode and cathode. Then how about this? It is just carbon, a normal carbon. Okay, 见红玩，勁嘅先好。Describe the reaction that occurs between the substance of anode with its product during electrolysis. Okay, you have to know in this reaction, what happened? This reaction, because they are carried out in a very high temperature, molten must be very high temperature. A melted aluminium must be a very high temperature. So oxygen will be produced at the anode. That means you will see a lot of bubbles coming out. Okay, because it is at a very high temperature. So all this oxygen will slowly react with the carbon. They slowly react with the carbon. So actually you have to replace this carbon electrode from time to time. That means after a period of time, you have to change it with the new one. Why? Because the carbon will slowly react with the oxygen in this very hot environment and form carbon dioxide. So what happens here is carbon reacts with oxygen gas release to form carbon dioxide gas. Or is aluminium not extracted by reduction method using charcoal? Charcoal is the same as coke, is the same as carbon. Reduction by using carbon means why we don't do this Al2O3 plus C to get Al and CO2. Why we don't do this? We can use carbon to steal away the girlfriend to get Al. Ma. Why we do want to carry this out? Yes, very good. Because why we cannot do this is because this thing will never happen. Because aluminium is actually more reactive than carbon. Meaning is aluminium is placed higher than carbon in the reactivity series. That means carbon is not able to steal the girlfriend. Okay, so name other metal which is extracted through electrolysis. Electrolysis, remember kalau nak kahwin mesti ada zakat. So Zn, this is reactivity series. For reactivity series, the zakat here we have, sorry Putra, okay, the zakat here we have carbon and hydrogen. So we will use electrolysis for metal that is higher than carbon. So you can see calcium, magnesium, aluminium. Potassium and sodium also can actually, uh, but then um, but then I normally would suggest you to use potassium and sodium because sometimes they are too reactive to be used as uh, a reactant. So magnesium. If O2 will react with carbon, why don't we use platinum as electrode? The reason is carbon is a lot cheaper than platinum. Platinum is way too expensive because platinum is like I think almost the same level as silver, right? So they would use this like something very expensive in their process. Then the factory or the industry, the company, they will lose a lot of money. They lose a lot of money. Why must higher than carbon not hydrogen? Because people talking about carbon people talking about carbon And then carbon is okay, why they use carbon and not hydrogen? Because carbon is a solid form. It is easier for you to handle. You can just put a packet of charcoal into the reaction instead of you have to create hydrogen gas and then blow the hydrogen gas into the substance. It's a lot harder. So that's why they always use the easier method. Cheap and also easier to handle. And you can easily find carbon, which is charcoal, instead of asking you to find hydrogen, which is harder. How to know which to use between ECS and reactivity series? Okay, again, ECS is used when there is a solution. Okay, solution. And then for process which required heating and they are dry, especially like extraction of metal, you use reactivity series. If they are dry, no water, with solution of water, you use ECS. No water, you use reactivity series. Okay, like reaction between aluminium and carbon, they are dry now. Okay, they are dry because aluminium oxide is molten. No water inside. So reactivity series. extraction of metal is always reactivity series. You can refer this back in your Confined Chapter 3 redox reaction. Okay, next. Okay, we are going into the assay now. So this table shows a series of experiments carried out to construct electrochemical series, which is ECS. The positive terminal and the value for potential difference for the pair of metal X and copper are not given. Based on the value for of the potential difference, arrange the metal in ascending order in the electrochemical series. So just in case they come out a 10 marks question like this, how do you arrange? Okay, first you have to know positive terminal is whether higher or lower. Higher or lower, you have to know this yourself. Because this is a voltage cell, that means positive will be cathode. Positive also means lower in the ECS. So whatever metal placed here, they are lower than the partner. So I can say that W compared with X, when they are paired together, X is lower, W is higher. And then how do I arrange it? Me, I personally like to start with the highest voltage, which is W and Cu. So W, Cu is lower. When the voltage is highest, that means their distance will be the furthest with 2.9 V. And then W and X, 1.6. And then we have X and Y is 0.4, where Y is lower. So that means okay, Y is lower. How much? 0.4. Okay. So based on the everything, arrange the metal in ascending order in the electrochemical series. So ascending order means less to more electropositive. Okay, remember it's less to more electropositive, which means lower to higher. Because some students, they will just follow this list and copy from top to the bottom, and they think that this is ascending order, but actually the answer should be Cu, Y, X, and W. Okay, next, predict the positive terminal and the value of potential difference for the pair of XCU. Explain your answer. So when X and Cu are paired together, which one will be the positive terminal? That means which one will be lower? The answer will be copper, Cu. And then what is the value of the potential difference from X go down to Cu? How to find the answer? We will use this 2.9 to minus off 1.6. Okay, if you minus off this thing, that means there will be the answer from X to Cu. So 2.9 minus 1.6, you get 1.3 V. Okay, just like that. It's not too hard. Arrange only. Next question. Why the screen so lag? I thought I wake up in the morning, the internet will be okay. A student wants to construct an electrochemical series. He measured the potential difference of several pairs of metal, 1, 2, 3. Blah, 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 in the value of voltage are shown in the table. So they use Mg to pair with P, Mg pair with Q, Mg pair with R. Mg pair with no explanation. Predict the positive terminal and the value, oh, sorry, value of potential difference for pair of metal X and Cu. Explain your answer. What do I want? What do I have to explain? Uh, Predict the positive terminal. And then I don't know what to explain. Later we come back to this one, okay? We do the others first. I really do know what to explain. Later I see again. Maybe later I wake up a bit, then I can think. Okay, so next, the value of z is greater than the value of y, and then the value of y is greater than x. GG, pencil no battery. Okay, y is greater than x. So that means mg and r furthest with z, and then mg and q is y from mg to x. From mg to p is x. Explain why copper is positive. Hmm. How to explain copper is positive? I don't know. Later. Okay. Arrange the matter in descending order. So after I put this thing already, after I arrange it already, according to the voltage, because say the voltage for this one is the highest. So that means the distance is the furthest. Explain why is it 1.3? I don't know. And later we go back to that one. Okay. I really do know. Later. So here, descending order. Descending order means from more to less. So the answer will be Mg, P, Q, and R. Mg, P, Q, and R. Explain your answer, huh? Oh, okay, yeah. This one I know. Okay. Explain. Explain your answer. So they want me to explain why my arrangement is like this. Okay, why my arrangement is like this. We all know that magnesium are being set as anode in all the cell. Okay, so I can make this arrangement is because I know the value here is the greatest. That means they will be furthest in the ECS. So I start my explanation with the first point, point one. I hope you all is not like sitting there watching me to do the question. So point one, we will first say the further the distance between the metal pairs in ECS, you have to write electrochemical series, the higher the, what they say, potential difference of voltage. The higher the voltage. Okay, and then, gee, wait, what's the answer here? Mg, give me a second. Mg, right. Yeah, wait. Okay. Magnesium act as negative terminal in all the cell, which means um, which shows that magnesium is the most electropositive. Your brain cannot function. Yeah, lah. I should write my answer down yesterday. Yesterday when I prepared the question, I got all the answer one. I'm like, I go through in my brain. Oh, okay, okay, got this point, got this point. But now I use shit, Lord. Okay. Then the next point. Okay. Number 3. Why the arrangement is like PQR? The reason is because the distance vector is the least electropositive because the voltage between magnesium and R is the highest. So according to my first point, I already say the further the distance, the higher the voltage. This one will be the least electropositive. That means lowest. Okay, we are not going to say lowest in the ECS. We will say least electropositive. Is because their voltage is highest. Okay, is highest. And then screen start. Sorry. And then our next explanation will be metal Q is less electropositive than metal P because the voltage of Q and Mg is higher than P and Mg. So from my explanation, I said that Mg is the first one. So it is the most electropositive. It is the first one. And then R is the lowest because their voltage is the highest. And then Q will be less electropositive. That means lower than P because the voltage of Mg and Q is actually higher than Mg and P. So this explains how this thing is arranged. Yeah. Next. The last time I wake up in the morning is the last seminar. Then next. Diagram 7.2 shows the apparatus setup used in 2 experiments to electrolyze molten lead-2 chloride and 0.001 mole per DMQ of hydrochloric acid respectively. So right, all the formula present in both electrolyte experiment 1 and 2. So all the ions present in experiment 1, molten lead-2 chloride. Oh really? Okay, okay, okay. Ions, later still got account class. Okay. Experiment 1, we have Pb2 plus, Cl negative. And then for experiment 2, when you see got mole DMQ, that means they has mixed with water. So we have H plus, Cl minus, and also OH minus. Just like that. Different products are formed at electrode in both experiments. State the product formed at the anode. Why 10 marks? State the products formed at the anode of experiment 1 and experiment 2. Explain how the product are formed and state the reason. Write the half equation at the anode. So basically, these 10 marks will be given if you are able to state product formed at the anode for experiment 1 and 2. This one 2 marks. 2 marks. And then the two half equation is also another 2 marks. How these two product form and state the reason will be the remaining marks. That means each of the experiment will be 3 marks, 3 marks explanation each. Total 6, and then it will be 10 marks. So I want you to try to answer this question. I give 5 minutes to try to write something. So meanwhile, I can type my answer out also. Okay, so while you are trying, I type my answer out, then later on we compare. I show you the question now. Write into your paper. You don't have to type out and show me. You write it into a paper. I want you to try. So meanwhile, I type my answer. Okay. Should just open my file and type, I think. So this will be my answer. Okay, why do I write this answer? Oh yeah. So these questions ask me the product formed at the anode. And then my answer is in the experiment 1, we get chlorine gas, and experiment 2, we get oxygen gas. I hope your answer is the same as mine. Why chlorine gas for experiment 1? Because why chlorine gas in the experiment 1? Because chloride is the only ion. Okay, I mentioned here, this is my explanation actually. Chloride ion is the only ion present in my electrolyte. So this is the only N ion that will move to the anode. And then what happened? When it moves to the anode, it will discharge to form chlorine gas by losing electron. So what I want to tell you here is, when they want you to explain electrolysis, every time when they want you to explain electrolysis, later I will use my iPad, I write down the points for you all. You have to do PMS, the step PMS. What is PMS? P is presence of ion. And then explanation for the second point, M is movement of ion. I put as PMS, and last is selective discharge of ion. Okay, PMS is the explanation that applies for all the electrolysis questions. Okay, the electrolytic cell, we always go for PMS. And this is how we explain it. So experiment 2, fluoride ion and hydroxide are present in the electrolyte. They are the N ions present in the electrolyte. So what happened is the chloride ion and hydroxide ion, they will move to the anode of my experiment 2. So they are N ion, they move to the anode. So I mentioned presence of ion, I mentioned movement of ion. Even if you put hydrogen ion in, you want to put the positive ion in for presence of ion also can. You can tell me all the ions in the electrolyte, and then the next one you tell me which of the ion will go to the anode, then can already. So after that, hydroxide ion will be selected to discharge. You see, selectively discharge. to form oxygen gas by losing electron. Why? Why we choose OH over chlorine ion, chloride ion? Is because hydroxide ion is lower in the ECS than chloride ion. Why this time I can write lower? You can only write lower whenever it is electrolysis. They are asking you which ion has to be selected. If you still remember, how you select the ion in factor 1 is what? Position of ion in ECS. And in the syllabus, they told you that to go and choose the lower ion. That's why our explanation here put lower. Okay, can so this will be my explanation. And then lastly, write the half equation for my anode. So I will now go back to my iPad. I go back to my iPad. Right. So remember, explanation for electrolytic cell, you use PMS, which is presence, movement, and selectively discharge of diode. Okay, and then next, concentration of hydroxide ion is higher. You cannot write concentration. Okay, in our electrolysis, we have three factors, right? Three factors. Yeah. Factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. Okay, when can you use factor 1? When you choose the lower ion, you use factor 1, which is position of ion in ECS. The name of factor 1 is called position of ion in ECS. Sometimes they can ask you to mention the factor 1. What is the name of the factor? So you have to be able to write position of ion in the ECS. And then in number 2, it is the concentration of ions. You can only mention the concentration of the ion is higher or lower when the question has a concentrated solution. That means when it is a concentrated solution and you are using factor 2. You are using factor 2 to select the 4 specific ion. Then only you can mention concentration. We will only mention concentration in a situation like this. Okay, let's say a concentrated solution. Normally, we will choose OH, the lower one, but then this time we go for the higher one. And then this is the only time you will mention, oh, because the concentration is higher. That's why we choose Cl. Okay, this is factor 2. Factor 3 is the types of electron. For types of electron is when they are using active electron. Active electron is when you see they use copper electrode, silver electrode, which means metal electrode lah. Okay, we will mention this active electrode like that lah. Okay. Half equation at the anode for experiment 1, Cl negative go to Cl2 plus 2E. Experiment 2 is our 4OH minus becomes 2H2O plus O2 plus 4E. So like this 10 marks, but I actually put in more points than what is needed. 1 point extra, okay? So this is the answer for this question. Next, I don't know whether the screen I shared just now can be recorded or not. 以轩不要，不要。Because usually product is based on observation one, so we only mention oxygen gas because we can see the colorless gas bubble. Question 5. Based on the observation in diagram 7.1, give example of substance S and T. Okay, how to do this? So as I told you, questions related to electrical conductivity It's always because of your electrolyte. Okay, it's always because of your electrolyte. So give example of S and T. Light bulb does not light up, and this one substantially bulbs light up. So for the one that bulbs does not light up will be an example, please. It will be non-electrolyte. Give me one example of non-electrolyte, please. Okay, yes, very good. It can be methylbenzene, tetrachloromethane, or any organic solvent lah. Okay, tetrachloromethane. Yes, very good. Okay, T can be your favorite, which is sodium chloride solution. Sodium chloride solution. 111. 111. That one also can. Or you want to write what propanone, acetone also can, as long as you put organic solvent and an electrolyte, sodium chloride solution, acid, or whatever, like copper 2 sulfate, silver nitrate, copper 2 sulfate, copper 2 nitrate, I mean, also can. So now, explain the above observation. So as I told you, can conduct electricity means what? They have free moving ion. This one cannot conduct electricity is because it doesn't have free moving ion. So we're going to explain this for one time. So I'm going to say for experiment, okay, my substance S, which is my methylbenzene, it is made up of neutral molecules. Okay, organic solvent, we always mention neutral molecule. That means it does not contain any free moving ion. You can also finish the sentence with to carry electrical charges, because that is the way of how ion they conduct electricity. They will carry the charge and go from one place to the other place. That's why they can conduct electricity. But the important point here is only free moving ion. Okay, you want to write carry or not, it's up to you. And then for substance, what? Substance T. This can conduct electricity because it is made up of, or you can write consists of, not important at all what word you want to write. You can say contain free moving ions to carry electrical charges. Just like that, 3 marks. Okay, so got free moving ion, no free moving ion, that's all. Electrical conductivity, always go for free moving ion. Okay, and then next question now. Oh yeah, just now a question I missed out already, which he told me. The question 4, I forgot to suggest the metal PQR, but I believe you can do this yourself. According to the ECS, you just give the name of PQR. For example, okay, like that. Or you want to give CU and AG also can, as long as the sequence is like that, then can already. Okay, and then now, yes, we come to this question 6. This is a past year SPM question, which I think this year's question is one of the hardest, not hardest, it's like they are not easy to answer. So this question you can see, it shows the reaction occur in a voltaic cell using magnesium ribbon and copper plate. Why I want to give you this question is because, okay, explain how electric current is produced. So this is the same as they want you to explain the process of voltaic cell. So I write down, it's the same as the question when they ask you process of a voltaic cell. Or when they ask you how voltaic cell works, you have to give the same answer. So I would say this is a bit tricky because when they say electric current is produced, people will be like, well, I where got learned this thing before, but actually what they ask you is like process of the voltaic cell. So people always call this type of question as high order question, which it change the word, but you have to write back the same answer. Okay, hopefully I still can remember the answer. I've rehearsed one time already before I sleep yesterday. When I'm preparing the question, hopefully I can write the answer now. So here, how to explain the process of a voltaic cell? You have to always explain, you see, what happened now? What happened? But actually, they are quite good, okay? They show you the picture. As long as you can tell what is happening in the picture, then you can also get the mark. You can see magnesium electrode or magnesium ribbon, it dissolved to form Mg2 plus. And then the other side, H plus are gaining the electron to form H2. Two reactions happening at each electron. And then what causes this to happen? So what really causes it to happen is because you have a more electropositive metal. And what does the more electropositive metal do? They donate electron, okay, or they transfer electron. So whatever you have to say is, okay, magnesium will dissolve to form Mg2 plus by losing electron, like that. But of course, we're going to start our first point by saying more electropositive, okay? But the general idea is like that. So it loses electron and give it to copper plate. So the hydrogen ion receive the electron and form hydrogen molecule. So basically, how electric current is produced, that means how electricity is generated. Electric current is caused by the flow of electron. As long as there is a flow of electron, it can always produce electric current. So what they want you to explain here is actually the move of electron, like, oh, this process got electron transfer. That's why got electric current. So whenever you are mentioning the point electron transfer, you already explained about electric current. Okay, so let's start with our first point by saying magnesium is more electropositive than copper. You want to write in the ECS also can in the Electrochemical Series. Okay, so what happened next is magnesium. You can write is dissolved, is ionized, or is reduced, ionized to form magnesium ions by losing electrons. Okay, so it's up to you to decide what kind of word you want to use. Okay, for electrolysis, you can always carry with oxidation and reduction, reduce or oxidize also can. And then if you are worried that you can't get marks, maybe you want to get like 0.5, you want to try your luck, whether still you can get the marks or not, you can also include your half equation. Why reduce? Losing, not oxidize. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes. Oxidize. Oxidize. Oxidize, sorry. Oxidize. Correct me, oxidize. Sorry, for those who know me, they know me. They know this is what's going to happen when I have morning class. That's why yesterday when I posted morning class, yeah, a few students came and like text me and say, morning, you sure? Can you wake up? Oh, then I'm like, oh, cannot. I must wake up. Okay, and this is what happened. Okay, you understand very well. Understand me very well. Okay, so next thing, I'm sorry. This is the last one already. I'm not going to do morning class anymore. We do night class now. Okay, I don't want to do night classes because I don't want to disturb your sleeping cycle or something like that because you get used to sleep early and then wake up in the morning. So I don't want to disturb your body, what something biological clock, something like that. Okay, no more bullshit. Okay, what happened next is uh can I write extra thing? I write extra thing. I write it as uh electrons flow from magnesium plate or electrode to copper plate or copper electrode. Okay, after it falls to the copper plate, and this is what happens. Hydrogen ion move to the copper plate, are discharged to form or produce hydrogen gas by gaining the electron. So I give a very detailed explanation, which is, oh, there is electron flow from my magnesium to the copper plate. And then the hydrogen ion that has already moved to the electron, like they are waiting there, they take the electron in and it turns into a hydrogen gas. But of course, some of the points here are extra, but sometimes it's okay to be extra. Saved. So in the end, we give the equation H plus 2E getting H2. Because I never know whether they will give you a higher marks question or not. So when they give you 5 marks or 6 marks, this is what you're going to write, okay? Uh, no need, Shekhar. Better don't write that one. Because you already mentioned the electron flow here already. Because I worry when they change the anode, when the anode is not dissolving, you write from magnesium, your answer will be wrong. Okay, so this is how we write a more than four marks. Teacher, if we write wrong point in essay, do teacher deduct our mark or just ignore the answer? If you write the wrong point, straight away -1. You write the wrong point, then straight away -1. It's like you write reduce just now, it's straight away -1. Also can, yes, okay, you can also add in your it flows from magnesium plate to copper plate through connecting wire through external circuit, also can. Yeah, you can write like that. Please don't write the wrong point. When you want to write extra point, please don't write the wrong points because one wrong point, they will minus your mark. You still got 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Okay, next. Next. Okay, so this is the question I put in here. Wow, still got so many questions, one man. Wait, is the answer the same? Wait, this question, why the same one? Sorry, this is the same one, so we don't need to do this question 7. We still got 2 more questions only. Okay, so this table again. Hey, sorry, Celeste. The second point can write higher tendency to release electron. It can be written as extra point, that one. It can be written as extra point, that one. Higher tendency to release electron is actually the same point, it's more electropositive. So it can be written as extra point. But The point two, we will start to explain what actually happens. Okay, so we will straight away say it donates electron. Higher tendency is the same as the first point, but of course you can still put it in. It won't minus your mark because it's correct. So here, this question, explain why there are differences in the observation for the anode. Cell 1, cell 2, cell 1, and cell 3. So this time we are going to write the answer again. Last year came out this one already. Not last year, sorry. 2019 came out this question already. 1 and 2, which is dilute and concentrated. And they want you to explain this. So I don't think this year will come out because in the past 4 years, they came out 2 times already, or more than 2 times for factor 2. So I don't think this time will come out. But then we still explain one more time. Cell 1 and cell 3. So you can see the anode colorless gas release when they are using carbon-carbon dilute solution. They get a greenish yellow gas when they use carbon-carbon and concentrated copper-2 chloride solution. The last one, anode becomes thinner. So now we are going to explain this. What actually happens? We have to compare it. So again, I let you try to write out the answer by using the method I told you just now, the PMS. So try to explain the question by using PMS. And then we will compare our answer later. I will type my answer out now, and then you do your answer, then we can compare. Presence, movement, and then hydroxide ion is selected to discharge by losing electron because it is lower than chloride ions in the ECS. So we are using factor 1. Factor 1. That's why I say lower in the ECS. And you can see cell 2, because the question is only 4 marks, but I write a lot. Can you see? I write a lot. Can, actually can, because they are talking about anode. If you're only writing N ion, then you have to tell them are the N ions present in the solution. I write ion because I write everything. You can also write N ion. Okay, you can change the answer yourself, okay? And then the cell 2, you can see the first 2 points is the same. So basically, they won't give you a double marks for this. They won't give you a double marks for this. This is like extra point that I put in. They are exactly the same as the one on top. But this time, the ion being selected to discharge by losing electron will be my chloride ion. Because the concentration of my chloride ion is higher than hydroxide ion. This is my factor 2. When they use a concentrated solution, I write concentration of ion higher for the one that I chosen. So you can see 4 marks here because this question is 8 marks. So 4 will be given to like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. But I will always write the complete one, okay? Unless you want to make sentence like in cell 1 and cell 2 contains all this ion. That means you combine it. If no mention by losing electron, can or not, you always forget to write this. Actually, it's can one, but better to write. Actually, it's can one. Actually, in chapter 6, that we never talk about it losing electron one. We only add this losing electron after redox reaction. Can I write lose electron to produce O2? Can. You can also give me the product. Okay, you can also give me the product. Like you want to write extra, like to form oxygen gas. Also can. Can. You want to give me the half equation, also can. It's up to you. Actually, can we write point form? You cannot write point form. You must give a complete sentence. You must give a complete sentence. Okay, complete sentence. So this is my cell 1 and cell 2. And then for cell 3, I open table. Table you can open table if you want. In point form, but not in paragraph. Macam kamu tulis. Cannot lah. I think it's cannot lah. I always like write in paragraph form. That means you have to connect sentence by sentence. You don't write like me, like put, what do you call, Kong Hang. I never do that lah. I always connect all the sentences together. Safe scared okay. So next. Okay, then for number 3 and number 1. So what do I do there? Number 3 and number 1 will be the same thing. Will be the same thing. So I copy cell 1 and then cell 3. And then cell 3. Okay. For those who have account class, you may go. The cell 3 is the same thing. Cell 3 is the same thing. But this point, N ion will not be selected. So this is what we'll be saying this time. Okay. You want to go makan, also go makan first. Cell 1. Okay. Because this time is comparing between types of electron. So I will mention that cell 1 is using inert electrodes. Carbon. Or you can say cell 1 is using carbon electrode. Which are inert electrode. Because they want me to compare, so I have to let them know that the difference in the type of electrode. So cell 1 is using this inert electrode, carbon. Platinum is also inert. Graphite is also inert. And then my cell 3 is using copper electrodes, which are you decide yourself, which are active electrode. So what actually happened in the cell 3 is the copper anode will oxidize, or the copper anode is oxidized by losing electrons. That's all. That is the point you got to write for your cell 3. That means for cell 3, you doesn't have to mention the movement of ion, because in the end, they will be not selected. But if you really mention, it also can, because it is something correct. They won't minus your mark also. So this time, the explanation is active electrode. So we have all three factors here. The first factor is position lower. The second cell is concentration higher. The last one is we mentioned active electrode. So that's why the copper anode will oxidize or ionize, also can, by losing electron. Like what Jian Hong said just now, if he want to add all the product in, can or not? Can, which is, wait, let me see the question. Oi. Okay. I think we have to write the products in because they want me to explain the observation at anode. So we have to add the product in, sorry. So for all the point, I will add to form oxygen gas. Sorry, they want me to explain the observation. Chloride ion losing electron because losing electron to form chlorine gas. And then this one, last one, is ionized, oxidized to form copper 2 ions. Ui, what happened to my screen? Or copper 2 ions by losing electrons. Okay, so these are the explanation. And lastly, we come back to this iPad. Why the blue color of copper 2 chloride solution remains unchanged? So again, when you have to explain 2 marks for color unchanged, you have to mention concentration of copper 2 ion remains unchanged. The color doesn't change is because the concentration of the Cu2 plus same. And then another point will be the one that we always write. The rate of copper 2 ion. I have to write the name, Cu with copper 2 ion. Right. Copper 2 ion. This produce the rate of copper 2 ion produced, or you can say ionized. Of course, you can change the sentence to the rate of ionization of copper 2 ion also cannot. Yeah, the anode is the same as the rate of copper 2 ion discharge at the cathode. So that means you are telling people one electrode produce Cu2 plus, another electrode will discharge the Cu2 plus. That's why no difference. Okay, so the rate same. Next, question 7 is something we done earlier on already. And then now is the last question. This is the chapter 7. Why I put chapter 6? In the chapter 7, this is acid and base already. We have finished chapter 6. Remember to read the experiment procedure, electroplating and purification yourself. So in this question, chapter 7, they usually ask you to explain these three types of questions. Flow of water, and then the strength of acid, and also basicity of acid. Basicity is mono or diprotic acid. Okay, so in this question, they want you to suggest solvent L and solvent M. Every time when you see solvent, when they want you to suggest solvent, your answer must be consist of one organic solvent and one water. So based on this experiment, we can see this syringe never change. That means no gas is producing. If no gas is produced, our solvent L will be an organic solvent. You can't just write organic solvent. You have to write the name, which is methylbenzene. And then for M will be water. Because you see it produces gas. The syringe moved. Some gas are being collected. So explain why there is a difference in the observation in conical flask A and conical flask B. So how come there's a difference? When you want you to explain about this, got reaction or not, got gas being produced or not, or they can also use litmus paper. That means one has reaction, another don't have. Then this is the explanation for role of water. You got to explain about role of water. Okay, how to explain this? If blue litmus paper is dipped into A and B, what happened to the color change? Let me answer this last one first. A, no change. But B, it turns from blue to red. So here is already how many marks? 4 marks. Never mind. We assume that they give 1 mark here, 1 mark here. So we will try to write more for our explanation. Okay, for conical flask A, the one that has methylbenzene. So what happened? Hydrogen chloride. Yeah? They say hydrogen chloride. Screen stuck, sorry. Hydrogen chloride. Okay. So what is what I will write? Hydrogen chloride remains as neutral molecules without the presence of water. Okay. So there is no hydrogen ion to show acidic properties. Or based on the experiment, you can actually also say there is no hydrogen gas is being produced, or there is no reaction occur. No reaction occur between bubble chip and the acid. It is all under acidic property because when it has acidic property, they will have reaction. That's why I use acidic property. Acidic property can be applied to all kind of situation. For B, what happens? Hydrogen chloride ionizes into water to produce hydrogen ions. So therefore, hydrogen ions, you can see show acidic property, but this time I write a different one. I write a different one. So when you revise, you know what are the types of answer you can write. So this one I write hydrogen ions reacts with marble chips or marble chips to produce carbon dioxide gas. So you can also write about the reaction. If you do want to write about the reaction, then you can say there's hydrogen ion to show the acidic property. That is the general answer for role of water. So what you have to always include is neutral molecule. This is very important for the one that doesn't have ion. Okay, so without water, and then there's no H plus. So this one ionize into water, produce hydrogen ion, and then the hydrogen ion will show acidic property or they react with something else. Okay, next. This is exactly the same for unknown and water. So they show you this one got bubble and this one no bubble. I doesn't want you to write the answer. All I want to tell you is sometimes they can ask you why they use filter funnel. So why do they use filter funnel? This is to prevent, okay, see, for the solution, we don't use the straw to transfer the gas in. No. Why? Yes, this will cause the backflow of the solution. Backflow means the water will go into your straw or delivery tube because according to what you learn in your physics, your pressure outside is greater and then it can actually push the solution go in. But you don't want this to happen. So we choose to use a filter funnel. When we use a filter funnel in physics, okay, we know that the pressure is like balanced off. So the water will not go in. But how do we write the answer? We use filter funnel to prevent the backflow of solution. Now, you don't want the solution to go reverse way and pollute your hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, so like that. So this is all I want to tell you for this one. So last, yes. So here another 8 marks to explain about strength and basicity, all in one question. So they want you to explain why the pH. Compare and explain why pH value of H2Y is lower than HX. H2Y, why lower than HX? So obviously we can see H2 and 1H. This is uh, about basicity of acid. That means one is mono, another is di. But another question, HZ and HX, they are both monoprotic. When they are both monoprotic, that means one H, but the pH value you see is like has a gap, big difference. This is about the strength, weak and strong. Okay, explain this. Say you write your answer, I write my answer. Last already, and then we compare. I have to show you the question, right? Yeah, wait. OK，可以，Celeste 等下先啊。OK， so this will be my answer. So what I wrote here is my acid HX is a monoprotic acid. It ionizes completely in water to produce one hydrogen ion per acid molecule. That means every one acid molecule, it gets to produce one hydrogen ion. But H2Y is a diprotic acid. So I'm actually just giving the definition, the meaning of monoprotic. Monoprotic is produce one hydrogen ion per acid molecule. H2Y is diprotic acid, two hydrogen ion per acid molecule. So this is why the concentration of hydrogen ions of H2Y is 2 times higher than HX. Therefore, the higher the concentration of hydrogen ion, the lower the pH value. This is why I get a difference in pH value. So this is my explanation. And then for strength, we will just write it as acid HX is a strong acid which ionizes completely in water to produce higher concentration of hydrogen ion. Screen lagging. While your HZ is a weak acid which ionizes partially in water to produce, right? Sorry, okay, to produce lower concentration of H plus. So this is why I copy back the same thing lah. Concentration of hydrogen ion in HX is higher than HZ. So therefore, the higher the concentration of H plus, the lower the pH value. Just like that. Confirm 8 marks, more than 8 marks. So this is what you have to explain for basicity and strong weak, which is the strength. Okay. So thank you for joining the class. This is wait. I give you the answer here. I will take screenshot and then okay. Now this question you Celeste, okay. And then I owed you one question, right? What's the question? Let me go back. Okay. Okay, since okay, can since I write the workings already, you sure you want this file? Ah? You see all the handwriting is like, oh my god. Okay, never mind. Uh, wait, the question. Okay, since I wrote the workings already, where? Okay. Since I write the workings already, screen stop pula. Okay, that is page number 4. Okay, since I wrote the workings here already, because I don't know whether they want me to explain about the voltage. They want me to explain about the voltage or they want me to explain about the positive terminal. So if they want me to explain about positive terminal, then my answer will be how I know that it is positive terminal. I know that Cu is lower, right? But then we are not going to write lower. We will say copper is less electropositive than X. Okay, I can write these explanations because just now I has already arranged. Okay, they has already asked me to arrange. That means they definitely know that the arrangement of copper should be less electropositive than the X. That's why it acts as the positive terminal. Oh, just like that, lor. So no more lah. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, bye bye. Thanks for joining the class. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. You are welcome. Bye 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 bye. Okay, Joey, that's enough. Okay, bye bye. Bye, Helam. Bye, Calvin. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. And then, uh, give a second. Joey, if one explain 1.3, if one to explain 1.3, just write the workings write the workings. That is the only explanation. 不可能可以解释到为什么一点用 words is cannot explain one. Okay, okay, Joey 1、2好来 Joey 我给你看。你要 screenshot 上 Joey。学凯 ionization is better than dissolve. Ionization is better than dissolve. Okay, next okay, 这个 okay next 这一个会太小吗？会不会太小？你 screenshot 你看不到，可以啊。OK，还有吗？拜嘉熙，心仪，拜拜。你现在会去睡觉还是读书？拜周一。学凯，我记得，yes，我记得你讲的那个 ionization 可能读书。ionization 那时候是什么啊？如果你要写 dissolve，好，拜拜。如果你要写 dissolve 的话，ionization 会比较好。可是我 always 都写 produce 我写 produce because 那个名字，薛凯，我讲什么那时候我记得 ionization 那时候是另外一个的，那时候你讲有一个 ionization，我记得有一次在班上你提 ionization 的那个是肯定不对的那个。 可是在这里 ionization， 我跟你讲过不可以的。啊，OK，sorry 啊，这样，给我想看啊，给我想看啊。我 not sure about 旧的 syllabus 啊，反正新的课本是写可以 ionization 的，that's why 我就教 ionization 哦。以前是没有看过 ionization 的，that's why 我过后有加。我自己还会写 produce 啊，我还会写 produce 啊，都可以啦。你喜欢呢？因为from 新的课本也是刚刚才写到，也是才刚刚才写到 ionization，所以我相信 ionization 是可以接受的，一定可以接受。既然它都放在课本了，所以一定可以接受。所以你 maybe 可以 stick back to 你的 ionization 哦。Ceiling 为什么这个一定要写包晒？因为他问他的名字，他要 name 这个东西，他的 or 就是包晒哦，他名字就是叫包晒。Aluminium oxide 只是我们一个去什么我们自己知道它是什么东西吧，就好像包晒是我们包晒里面有什么包晒里面就有 aluminium oxide，这是我们自己知道，所以我们没有写进去。And then 学凯 HCl turns blue to red and then white，不是，那个是学凯，那个是 HOCl，那个是 after chlorine 加 water 的 HOCl 才是，你看啊，那个是什么啊？Cl2 加 H2O 变成 HOCl 加 HCl 啊，那个 HCl 是把它从蓝色变红色啊，然后 HOCl 才是把它变白色的，就是这样。OK，你还有什么问题再问我啦，拜拜，谢谢你们，拜拜，新一拜阿维娜，拜拜，考试加油哦，他们不要睡觉啊，他们。